Hey sunshine. So are you flying in 2025? There are some new rules about carry-on that you don't want to get caught off guard by. I got all the details, so stay tuned. Okay, hello and welcome. So before we get started with all the details, I want to first introduce myself. My name is Tamika. I am a proud travel agency owner of the Sunny Travelers. One of our missions is to help people travel more. And while I love all things about travel, one thing that I am passionate about is the educational part of it, and then also like exposing you to some really cool stuff. So if you like that, or if that sounds like something that resonates with you, you want to go ahead and subscribe, go ahead and like, make sure that you're tuning in so that you can get all of the videos that we will be posting. So off to our topic. Okay, so let's get started on the good stuff. So there are some new rules and guidelines. Well, before I get started, I got my notes right there, so you'll probably see me looking down. But I'm trying to work smarter, not harder. I don't need to memorize everything. But anyway, so first of all, some of the new rules that are rolling out will be pertaining to carry-on luggage. And the reason why they're doing this is that, or the airline is airlines are trying to do this, is that they're trying to make a standardized policy to streamline operations, meaning that some of the things that they haven't streamlined has been causing overhead bins to be overcrowded, above the weight limit. So what they're trying to do is to make it standardized across the board so that you know what the limits are for the size, dimension, and all of that stuff pertaining to carry. In addition to the weight limit, you also have a size limit. So the new standards is 21 by 14 by 8 inches, which is only like the difference. Before it was like an inch difference. But here's the thing, is that some of these airlines are going to be really strict about those rules, and there really isn't any exception to this. If you've traveled a lot, or you've traveled before, and you know that like when you go have your carry-on, it can't be stored in the bin above, because people have these oversized carry-ons, or it's reached the weight limit, which kind of slows the process with a lot of things. So these airlines are going to be implementing these new rules to help make it quick. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about size dimensions. So well, before I do that, so these aren't laws yet, but you want to also make sure that you're checking with your airline carrier that you are currently traveling on, because they may have started already adopting these new standardized guidelines for carry-ons. So one of the biggest updates is that they are going to be enforcing the weight limits of 15 pounds. So before, in the past, a lot of times what they would do is that you would have they would charge you, or they would say that you would have to check in your bag because it was too heavy. Well, right now, some of the airlines, they are highly enforcing that. So what that means is that your carry-on that you thought was a carry-on is now going to be a check-in bag. So therefore, the things that you have that's inside your carry-on has to be in the carry-on, in the check bags. And if you have certain stuff that can't be checked, then there lies the problem on what you're going to do with those. Are you going to throw them away? All the things that they make you do when you can't check certain items. One of the biggest things that you can do to help make sure that you're in compliance is, first of all, check, like I mentioned before, check with your airline, and then also see their dimensions of what is acceptable. So if you don't have a scale, this is a good time to buy a luggage scale. You want to actually measure your luggage and ensure that they are within those guidelines. You just don't want to be caught off guard or have to pay extra money or actually lose items because you can't carry them on, which you have been able to carry on in the past. One of the biggest things that I highly recommend is when you are traveling is to use packing cubes. And if you can do the compression cubes, those are even better. That way you can maximize your space inside of your luggage. I actually have a little video on how I packed with a carry-on only. I'll leave it in the description, or actually I'll leave it somewhere in here where you can see that. But that will help maximize your space in your luggage. And then also you can kind of get everything that you need in one location. And then of course, it teaches you kind of how to. Let's talk a little bit about restrictions with your baggage. So some of those new luggage that they have, those smart luggages where you can that has those lithium ion batteries in them. Some of these airlines, they're saying that they'd have to be removable. So this is more so too with your check-in bags. So you cannot check those smart luggages in, I guess, as prior. I never personally had a smart luggage, so I really can't contest like if it was done before or not. But what I can say is with some of the new regulations is that those lithium batteries, they have to be removable and they have to be carried on with you in your carry-on. Another way to avoid fees, like I mentioned before, is using your packing cubes that will maximize your luggage space. Also using the weights where you can weigh them at home. Then of course, if you are part of any frequent flyer programs with some airlines, you're able to kind of go above what the standard rules are, meaning that you'll have more room to either check more bags, have a different type of carry-on. So you may want to look into that. That way you can and some of these programs are free that you can join. And then the more that you fly, of course, the more perks that you will receive. Okay, so I think I got it under 5 minutes. Yay! I want to keep these videos short and sweet. So to conclude all of this is that before you travel, you need to be checking with your airlines about the rules with carry-ons, and then also too with some check bags and kind of what's allowed and what's not allowed. Like I mentioned before, not all airlines in the US are that they are implementing these guidelines, but there are some that are. And then also some places in Europe have already implemented these guidelines, and they already kind of are the leading group of people that are doing this. So eventually this will trickle down to us. So before you do anything, make sure that you are looking with your airline carrier to see those restrictions and be compliant. Don't be that person that to get to the airport and say, oh, I didn't know, because a lot of times they really don't care. They don't. It's your job as a consumer to find those things. It's their job as a airline to provide that information so that you can have it to look it up for yourself. So if you like this content, I want to make sure that you like and you subscribe. Ring the notification bell if there are some future videos that you like. Until next time, I'm wishing you lots of love, joy, and sunshine. Bye.